Hello, hello everyone. My name is Emily and welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to do my first ever book haul. And you gotta love Christmas and gifts of books. Those are my favorite. Every year for Christmas and my birthday, everyone just knows to give me either money for books or gift cards for books at different bookstores in my area. And then I go and spend them all. All that money on the gift cards goes towards books. So as I've said previously, I work with a lot of kids, so I have a lot of middle grade books. I have some romance, historical fiction, adult books, and then I have just a couple nonfiction that I got that I'm super excited to tell you guys about. So let's get started. Some of these middle grade I have read. Barnes & Noble was doing this ridiculous sell. And so did I go over my budget? Why, yes, I did. But they're good because I can let my clients borrow them. So that's always a good thing. So the first one, which I have read already, is A Rover Story by Jasmine Warga. Oh my goodness, this is such a fantastic book, and I was so glad that they had it. One of the little guys that I tutor, we're gonna read this next together. And so I'm super excited about that. It's about this little robot who goes to Mars. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. Okay, I got a whole series, which is very exciting. Not the whole series because a new one came out recently and they didn't have it in the paperback yet. That will be forthcoming for sure. But I have read this whole series. Let me put them in order here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. Okay. It is the Track series. And it was funny. I went shopping with my family and my brother was there. And he's like, "Oh, those kind of look good." I'm like, "They are. They're really good." And my brother is almost 30 years old, by the way. So if a 30-year-old thinks they look good, then they are. So the first one is Ghost. And then Patina. Oops. Sunny, and Lou. And these are all by Jason Reynolds. Like I said, I have read these and I loved them. I wanted them in my collection for some of my clients because I really want them to read the series. It is wonderful. It's about this just group of kids who start on this track team and just kind of their stories and how they love running and different things like that. So that's now in my collection, which is very exciting. So a little sneak peek into some of my favorite videos that will be coming later. The Lost Year. If you have not read this book, you need to. It is absolutely fantastic. Krista from Books and Jams recommended this to her audience, and I was one of those people. So I read it recently, and I'm like, okay, this has to be in my library. I would probably read it again this year. It is so fantastic. I want all of the kids that I work with to read it. Truly remarkable. So that is now in my possession and I am so excited to have that. Okay, the next 4 middle grade I have not read, so I know nothing about them, but I've heard really good things, and there are ones that I wanted to read, and they were very, very inexpensive. So, because I don't spend a lot of money, I use a lot of my library. Anyway, the first one is The Secret Language of Birds by Lynn Kelly. I read Song for a Whale this year, last year. I can't remember. 2025 as in this year. We're in 2026 now, but that's okay. Anyway, I read Song for a Whale and it was one of my favorites. And so this is one of her newer releases. And so I'm super excited to see if I like it as much as I liked Song for a Whale. It just seems like a girl goes to this camp. She comes across this group of birds. She's not entirely sure what that's all about, and so she tries to learn more about them, and so it looks really, really good. That cover is just gorgeous. Oh my goodness, I'm excited to read that one. So it's funny, I went to the store earlier today and I took these up to the cash register, and the cute girl checking me out, she's like, oh my goodness, this is such a cute book. I think you'll really like it. So, Flipped by Wendelin Van Dranen. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. About young love, a middle grade, junior high age. We'll see. It was $1.85, so I thought I might as well pick it up, see if I like it or not. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited for that. I've seen this a lot, this next book, a lot of places, and so I'm like, you know what, I'll try it. It's always a good thing to have more books geared towards my younger male clients, my boy clients, just because they don't want to read about princesses. At least my clients don't. So, and that's all I want to read about. So, yeah. Artemis Fowl by, I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. Eoin Colfer. I probably just butchered that. But it looks really good. This is like an 8-book series, I believe. So, and this was very inexpensive at the store, so I just thought I'd pick up this first one and see if I like it. The beauty of this buyback store is that if I don't like them, I can return them or take them back and get other ones for that in-store credit, which is always fantastic. And then I, again, have heard great reviews from a bunch of different booktubers that I trust and that I like about The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise by Dan Gemmenhart. So we're going to read that and see if I like it. It's blurbed on the back by Catherine Applegate, so that's interesting. I wish it was in the soft cover, not the hardcover, but beggars can't be choosers. So, okay, those are all my middle grade books, which I'm super excited about. Some I'm glad just to have in my library because I loved the books, and others I'm excited to have on my TBR. So that's very exciting. Okay, moving on to romance, historical fiction, clean romances, all that jazz. Okay, so this first one, yes. This is the only one that I had read previously in 2025, but I loved it and I wanted it in my possession because I have a little section over here in my library of all of her other books that I have. Christy Cambron, The French Kitchen was wonderful. She just gets better and better and better with all the books, all these newer books that I've read. Completely fantastic. I had to have it in my vast library. And so that is now mine, which is very exciting. Okay, this next one I have read, well, this is my little section of her books right here. Heather B. Moore. She is a local to me author. I've met her a couple times. She's just a delight. This is her newest book. It's called Julia. And I love the cover. And then the spine, just this color combination makes me really happy for some reason. Anyway, this is the inspired by the extraordinary life of Julia Child. Now, the funny thing is both of these have Julia Child as part of the story. So, little Julia Child moment here. But I love Heather B. Moore's writing. I love her research that she puts into it. You can tell that she spends copious amounts of hours researching and developing these characters. And it's fantastic. Any by Heather B. Moore I would truly recommend. But I'm excited to have this in there in my library and read it this year. So this is on my list. Very exciting. Okay, this is a proper romance, and just a little tidbit. Whenever you see this on the cover, they're clean, they're sweet, there are no scenes that you don't want to read about, and they're just really, really good stories. This is a lot of what I read from Shadow Mountain Publishing, and so I trust when I see this little symbol, this proper romance symbol. Anyway, this is A Heart Worth Stealing by Joanna Barker, yep. And it's, this girl loses something, and so she hires a former Bow Street officer. They fall in love, blah, 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 very cute. England, 1802. So that should be fun. I've never read anything by this author, so I'm excited to investigate that a little bit more. So this is the second in a series. I read the first one in 2025 and absolutely loved it. That was the first I've ever read by this author. So this is the second one. It's called The Maid of Sherwood Forest, a McQuivey's Costume Shop Romance by Sianan Bessie. I'm probably butchering her name, which makes me so sad because I've met her and I should have asked her how she pronounces her name. But the first one was called A Time Traveler's Masquerade. I don't know if you can see that. It was so good. So I am really excited about this next edition in the series. We'll see what happens. I'm assuming it has something to do with Robin Hood and Maid Marian. We'll just see what happens. I'm super excited to read this. Chantel at, I can't remember her channel name, Chantel Reads All Day, I think. That might be her channel name. Anyway, one of her Read Your Bookshelf Challenge prompts in a couple months is a place, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect. So I might save that for that month when that prompt is that month's prompt. Anywho, so yes, I'm excited about that one. The next one, I have never read anything by this author either, Jennifer Dybel. It's called Heart of the Glen. A cover, I just love the cover. Excuse me. I have been sick, so I still have a little bit of cough going on. So please forgive my cough. But the back sounded interesting, and so I thought, you know what? I've never read her. That's part of my goals for 2026 is just to read new to me authors and just kind of expand my reading horizon. So the back sounded interesting, so I got it. Anyway, so we'll see about that one. Okay, the next one, I have read this series, and this might be the last installment for this series. It's called A Matchmaking Mama's Romance. Once again, it's that proper romance. It has that little plaque up there. Annika R. Walker is the author. This is called The Rules of Matrimony. The series is just about this group of mother figures in England 1823 who have single children, grandchildren, people that they are stewards over, and they try to set them up. And all these kids are like, no, I don't want to be set up, you know? Anyway, things happen. It's adorable. It's an adorable series, and I think this is the last installment, if I understand my research correctly. But yeah, it was adorable, so I'm excited about this one. I'll be reading it here in January, because for Chantel's Bookshelf Challenge, it has the on the cover. So you'll see that again in the TBR video. Okay, next is probably one from my favorite author of all time. I have read a lot of her work, and she is one that I want to read to zero. This is The Gents. This is called Love in a Mist by Sarah M. Eden. She can do no wrong in my eyes. I have loved just about everything I've read by her, and I've read a lot of her backlist. This is book 5 in the Gents series, and I love it so much. It's a group of men that come together and help each other out, help those less fortunate than them, and they're all finding love, and they each have a book, and I just love them. They're fantastic, so that will definitely be read this year, because I can't have Sarah M. Eden books on my shelves unread for too long. Okay, my last one is the start of a new series, and I have read one other book by this author and completely loved it. I think I read it within a 24-hour period one weekend because it was so fast-paced. It was so wonderful. I also have met this author, and she was a delight to talk to. And so it's Tracy Hunter Abramson, and this is Hometown Vendetta, a Luke Steele novel. And so Tracy Hunter Abramson, she, and this says it in her bio, so I'm not saying anything I'm not allowed to, is a former CIA agent. And so all of her books revolve, or at least the one that I read and then this one, all revolve around CIA agents and like the intrigue and all of that, spying, espionage, that kind of thing. The other series was absolutely fantastic. The second book in that series comes out here in a couple months. So when I saw that she had another series on the same lines of like the espionage and spy work and everything, I'm like, yeah, hello, you're coming home with mommy. Okay. So this is Hometown Vendetta. I'm super excited to read this. The second one is already out. I just got the first one because my bank account told me to. Okay, so those are all of the romance, Christian fiction, clean books that I got recently. Okay, my next, I only have 3 more books. All nonfiction, some Christian fiction, and some just a general nonfiction. We're gonna do the nonfiction, just the general nonfiction first, and it's a tome, y'all. Okay, look at how big that is. Anyway, this is Grant by Ron Chernow, and I just finished Washington by the same author, and I was like, okay, I have to read more from him, and so I got The Beast, and I am so excited. I've seen different documentaries on Ulysses S. Grant, and I loved the documentaries on TV or whatever, and so reading this, it takes some time. At least it did with me with Washington, the last one. So we'll see. I'm so excited. So excited. But it definitely takes a hot minute to read these books. Okay. Next, some Christian fiction. What Seek Ye by S. Michael Wilcox. And just questions, the little tag here says, how the questions of Jesus leads us to him. And so it just goes through different questions that he has asked us, especially in the Bible and in the New Testament, and how we can relate them into our lives here in modern day. So I don't think I've ever read anything by this author. So I'm excited. It's not very big, which is always nice. Because I just kind of read a little bit every day during the month. So we'll see how I like it. I generally like Christian nonfiction. So we'll see about that one. I'm excited for it. And then my scriptures of study this year is the Old Testament, which is very intimidating for me for whatever reason. I've learned about it my entire life, but you know, sometimes just the stories don't make sense, and connecting the pieces has been hard for me for whatever reason. So I have done a lot of research on different things, and I've read different books by this author before, and I've really, really liked them. I saw it at the store today, so I decided, you know what, this is gonna be something that I'm going to utilize. It's called Don't Miss This in the Old Testament by Emily Bell Freeman and David Butler. Like I said, I've read other things by them, and they're simple, they're to the point, they just keep the important things in the forefront of the book. And so it's very, very simple, but it will take me all year to read it as I'm going through the Old Testament to read it. It just says 185 devotionals, and it's exploring one verse from almost every chapter. And I was looking at it earlier, and they're just different one-page things on a specific chapter and verse in the Old Testament, and then different things to ponder and what you liked about it. So just very simple, to the point things that are good for my brain right now in regards to the Old Testament. So that's going to be something fun that I'm going to work through this entire year as I read through the Old Testament. Wish me luck. Okay, that is the Christmas book haul. I'm so excited to talk about these in the comments below. All of them will be linked as well. So if you are interested in these books, please hit the link. They're my Amazon affiliate link, so I do get a little bit of commission. No big deal. Anyway, I'm excited to start this new year fresh with new books and new authors and just all these new things. So it's very, very exciting. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.